We are back and we're also feeling better to go ahead and start building some more of our Ninja Turtle lair. We did get some comments on our last video. Here's the thumbnail. Links will always be in the description below. We did get some comments, so we do want to go ahead and address those. So let's get straight into the build. First off, let's go ahead and address the comments that we did get in the last video. And that was basically the water just looked way too bright for it to be a sewer. And I 100% agree. I'm guessing when I was under the weather building this, it just really didn't dawn on me that this is not going to be your normal everyday run-of-the-mill water at like a beach or a lake or something like that. It is going to be significantly dirtier, significantly grimier. And so that is going to be the first thing that we're going to address in this video. We're going to go ahead and change all of this up. We did come up with some other ideas as well to add some detail to this. And also, we ordered some parts for this. We came up with an idea that is going to require for us to unfortunately order some things. So they are coming in, but you know, it takes at least a couple of days, maybe 5 days or so for these parts to actually reach us. But this right here, the actual end of the pipe is going to be brick built. Now I know, you know, this is brick built, right? But it's a different form of brick built. You're just going to have to wait for that video to come out so that we can show you exactly what we're going to be doing with that. So now, okay, that being said, let's go ahead and address this stuff. Let's rip all this out and let's make some grimy, dirty, gross looking water. Dirty water engaged. Yeah, looking at the previous clips before and then, you know, once we built this out, it looks significantly better. And I'm guessing, again, just being under the weather may not be a great thing to do much building because you're just not fully functional and using all the brain cells. So yes, it looks significantly better. So I do agree with the comments, and that's the reason why we went ahead and changed it. Now we went ahead and went with 3 different colors. So the brown, the wet sand color, which is like that darker tan, and then the nougat. And that's just to signify the thickness of the material that's underneath that's going to be tiled. Now we are still going to tile this. So you will have that watery look on top. But then again, the darker the color, the more material, the less material, and so on and so forth. I'll let you use your imagination for what that material is. We're not going to dive into details. Okay, now looking at the back, I went ahead and started doing kind of some detailing back here. The reasoning to that is I want to make it seem like some of this water and material has been sitting there and it starts to build up and nobody's going to go down there and clean it. And so it's building up in the corners and stuff like that, which I don't know, it just makes sense for a sewer. Now, here in this middle part where it's going to be a bridge, connecting both sides to be able to walk over. And so we'll build that bridge out. And I kind of have an idea that I think is going to look pretty cool, but once we build it, we'll end up seeing. And then towards the very back here, we have this. Kind of looks like Ooze, does it not? You're going to have to keep watching to find out what this is actually going to be. Now, I'm going to do something that I haven't really done before, and I'm just going to go ahead and tile it. I'm going to fully detail, fully tile it, get it completely done, because I feel like it gives me a lot of inspiration as to how some of these sides are going to turn out. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and tile it and then fully detail it. Now, again, like I said before, the piping that we're going to be building here, those parts are on the way. We're having to wait from, luckily, everything that we chose was a bestseller, so they should be here in a couple of days. All right. Let's go ahead and show what this is going to be, and then let's tile the rest of this off, put the details in there. It's going to look so good. The tiling has been completed. All right, let's talk about some of the issues that we had and some of the things that we decided to go ahead and go with. So again, like I said before, did some some detailing in the back where there's just some garbage and stuff that's been building up, dirt and muck and all that good stuff. Now, as you go through the water, you'll see some areas where it's a little raised and a little lowered when it comes to the actual garbage floating in the water. You know, piles of stuff are kind of building up, and so some of that stuff is a little higher than the water. And then some of the stuff is on the exact same plane as the water. So as you come down this way, same exact thing going on down here. You have some buildup of garbage on the side, some dirt, some grime, and then you also have some of those pieces of grime and dirt that is kind of built up and over the water. Sorry about the fan over ahead of me. You can see it showing up in the tiling. Now, we decided to go with the translucent light blue. We tried the dark blue and it was way too dark. You couldn't see any of the colors underneath. It just kind of all washed out. And the area that this is going to be in is also going to be dark. We're thinking about putting some lights in the city in very strategic places. So the lights may be going here in the sewer to help kind of light these things up because we do want them to be something that you want to see. But if we don't add the lights, then you're not going to see any of this stuff with a dark blue tile. It was just so dark. So going with this lighter color, you can still see the garbage and trash and dirt and all that gunky garbage that's going to be in a sewer underneath. It's a little lighter than I would like it to be, but I don't think that there's anything in between the translucent light blue and then the dark blue. So unfortunately, it is what it is. But I like the way that it came out. I think it looks nice. You can see kind of the flow of garbage, which is exactly what we wanted to have simulated here. Now, I went ahead and put in the trusses of the bridge because we're going to be putting a bridge right here. We also need to work on the inside of the pipe to show that brown color, the goo, the gunk, and all that good stuff. But if we go further down here, we have some very oozy looking colored tiles and water right here. Now, the reason why we decided to put this, you can see we have a canister here that is broken, and then we have a canister over here that's full of ooze. Now, if you're not familiar with the background of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, so if you're not familiar with how the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles came to be, well, it was basically a comic written based on New York where a child or a kid was walking down the street with his pet turtles, trips, falls, and then those turtles fall into the sewer. Now, those Ninja Turtles, or turtles, came in contact with radioactive ooze, which then mutates them into the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, as those turtles were playing in the radioactive ooze, a sewer rat came upon those turtles and said, "Oh no, let me rescue those turtles from the ooze," and also ends up getting mutated into Master Splinter, which then ends up becoming their sensei, and he trains them in ninjutsu. Yeah, it's a crazy comic, but everybody loved it, and I just became a huge fan once I found out about that. So I thought it would be a really cool little Easter egg to add to the sewer. All right, well, let's get on to the next stuff that we need to build. We've made a few changes. All right, so looking at it, and again, not having those parts so that I could build out the pipe itself, I think these things are going to line up, but it's going to be one of those things where once we get the parts, we may have to rework some things, which I already did kind of open up the hole a little bit more because I'm thinking based upon what we're going to build, it's going to require a bigger outlet. Not 100% sure, but I did want to change the base right here to show dirty, grimy, rusted, kind of a pipe that's been there for years and have had just a bunch of junk flowing over it. So now let me go ahead and then switch it around to the backhand side so we can see kind of up close what we're looking at. Okay, so flipping around to the back side, we can see here. Now, remember, all of this is going to be enclosed, so it's going to be a whole lot darker in this section right here. So we went ahead and just dropped a bunch of 2x4 brown brick to go ahead and give us that underlying dirty water look. We added some buildup here on the sides to show gunk and dirt and grime and all that other stuff that's kind of just building up here in the pipe. And then we did the same exact thing that we did with the outside, and we went ahead and used the translucent light blue to tile this off. Not a ton of details because, again, you're not really going to see a ton of this pipe, but I am thinking that maybe potentially we may print our own kind of wooden pieces that would look like maybe some chunks of wood or something came down here and was being flushed out in the sewer. Now, when we're flipping this around, and hopefully I can flip this around without destroying it, and I really need to put these full tiles down. I just haven't put them completely down yet because of the simple fact that I want to just make sure that the build is going to stay the way that it is. We are thinking about having water flow out of here and into here, and then creating maybe that splash effect right here. But how we're going to pull that off, I'm not too sure. It's very difficult to get a hold of the translucent pieces when it comes into like a cylinder, so we can almost show off like water is coming down. Maybe we can put a hinge and a plate and put that water and then make it look dirty in the background so it doesn't have just that like the clear look to it. I don't know. We're gonna try to see if we can simulate something. If not, maybe it'll say just like this, and you'll see just that gunk and water almost at the tip at the pipe, but not necessarily flowing out or doing any of that. So with making those changes here, it really does change the look of the way that this is now potentially coming together. I really like that. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of finish the center part up. Obviously, this is not done, but finishing off some of the different details here in the center part would then allow for us to kind of branch off of that and use this dirty water and this gunky look to kind of help to spruce up the rest of these areas to make it match. Now, the weird thing is, I stepped away to kind of go ahead and do some other stuff, and I noticed something really weird. I don't know where this stuff came from, but it just popped up out of nowhere, and it's similar to the stuff that was in the parking garage, similar to the stuff that was being grown on top of the elevators. I don't know what this is, but I don't like it. We're gonna have to do some investigation. We're gonna have to get the architects of this city on this to find out what exactly this stuff is. I don't know. It's kind of freaky. It's kind of weird. All right, so I think we've done a decent job detailing the water, changing that up, and getting it really close to being done. But obviously, we're waiting on parts, and so I'm going to go ahead and end the video here because we are going to be waiting for those parts, and they should be getting here soon. So that'll allow us to go ahead and finish up this area here, and I think this will really tie everything together, and then we can branch off to building the rest of the stuff that we need to build. So if you enjoyed the video, do us a favor and go down there and hit it with a like. If you want to see more content like this, like hauls and builds and city and all of that great stuff, reviews, well, subscribe to the channel and don't forget to hit the notification bell. It just notifies you whenever we got some new content. All right, let me know in the comment sections below. What do you think about the new water design? It does look grimier. It does look grittier. It does look dirty, which I really do like. But let me know in the comment sections below what you think about the new water. While you're out there looking for Lego, hunting for those perfect sets for you, be safe out there, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye!